I just want to warn everyone who owns this XT Di2 derailleur, this and the older model that uses this silly bracket axle. This thing is like a proprietary freaking derailleur hanger.
Hey YouTube, shredquest here. It is Wednesday, December 17th at around 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is pretty chilly right now in Pinole, California, in the Bay Area. I hope everyone watching is doing well. I should warn everyone right now that this is going to be a bit of a rant video because something recently happened to me while riding the Decoy. It was pretty frustrating, and I wanted to warn everyone watching about this issue. 2025 YT Decoy MX Core 5s. If you're using an XT Di2 derailleur, or anyone else in the universe who owns a bike and they are running this rear derailleur, this likely will affect you. It's been a couple weeks since I've ridden the Decoy, and the Decoy has been out of commission. I rode on some local steeps and it was super fun. Then as a follow-up, I wanted to go ride at Joaquin Miller Park in Oakland. I went to go hit a jump that I normally hit. The way I hit it was bad, and I ended up in the bushes on the side of the trail and instantly picked up a branch from a pine tree or a redwood tree. And this branch went up through the frame, basically in between the rear derailleur and the rear wheel spokes. And I got super lucky that the spokes didn't get broken. And I immediately stopped. Make sure there's nothing in your spokes. This is second nature for all of us. So I immediately looked down as soon as my rear wheel hit, and I saw this branch that was thrust up in between the rear derailleur and the back wheel. And this thing was really wedged up in there. While it didn't break any spokes, it bent this little tiny metal extra link on the XT rear derailleur. This Di2 piece of shit that I am riding on right now that they spec'd on the Decoy. So what this part is this is a little extra link that attaches the derailleur to the UDH. And this is called a bracket axle, okay? That's the part name. There's a part code that goes along with it. And this little thing, even though I have a UDH on the Decoy, hello, this little extra link, which I don't know the fucking purpose of because I've seen a picture of the new wireless XTR derailleur and it doesn't look like it has this link. This extra link comes on the end of the derailleur, and this is what bolts onto the hanger, the UDH. Now, their whole reason for a UDH is that it is so easily replaced, so easily sourced. Everyone has a UDH. SRAM ensured, and this was an incredible marketing strategy they had, that every bike in the universe would someday have a universal derailleur hanger so they could someday just sell their T-type transmission system to every bike manufacturer and they could all spec their bikes with it. I mean, it was an amazing marketing strategy. Honestly, it was genius. But this little bracket axle is, for all intents and purposes, a proprietary derailleur hanger. That's what this is. It really pissed me off that this happened, okay? And I'll get to all of that. I'll explain. You'll see. You'll probably agree with me how frustrating, at least, this whole scenario sounds. Essentially, this is a proprietary derailleur hanger. It bolts onto the UDH and it goes in between the actual derailleur and the UDH, and it's an extra link. It's just part of Shimano's design, but it seems like if they've had derailleurs this whole time that bolt onto hangers, why would they include this stupid little extra link for functionality? I just don't totally understand it. I'm sure someone out there probably knows the answer, and please, if you're watching this, please put it in the comments if you know. I have no idea why it was engineered. This little part was bent by the stick. It threw off my derailleur orientation to the cassette, to the chain line, off by about, I don't know, I'd like to say like 5 or 7 degrees. After I took the stick out, I flipped the bike over and I was really hoping that it was the UDH that was bent. I just purchased 2 brand new SRAM UDHs on eBay for $10 a piece with free shipping. So they were easy to source. But as I soon discovered, and I searched the internet for an exploded parts diagram for the derailleur that I have, and that parts diagram, I'll throw it up on screen. That parts diagram has this bracket axle listed with a part number, and I searched everywhere online for this. And the only place I could source this was in the UK or China via Amazon. I don't even want to think about trying to import this right now with tariffs and everything else. I mean, look at the size of this thing. It's about 1.5 inches long. It's super tiny. Yeah, sure. I guess if I'm buying like 100 of these, maybe it would make sense to import. I only needed a replacement and possibly some backups. I found this sourced in the UK, and most of those shops were out of stock in this part number. This should be thought of as a proprietary derailleur hanger, and I'm cautioning all of you YT Decoy MX Core 5 owners, your 2025 models at least, or any of those decoys that spec the XT Di2 derailleurs, to watch this video and learn what happened to me. And I have a resolution for you that is an acceptable workaround for sourcing this part. And literally, this part number is virtually impossible to source right now. This little part could have potentially taken out my e-bike for months on end. I'm resourceful though, so I was able to find a workaround. I'll get to that. Let's dive into some of the technical stuff. I have the XT Di2 RD-M8150 12-speed derailleur. There is an 11-speed version that you need if you want to do auto shift with the Shimano EP801 motor. But I have the 12-speed version. YT doesn't spec the 11-speed, and it takes the exact same bracket axle as the 11-speed derailleur. According to the exploded diagram, I'm going to share the links to the exploded parts diagram for the 12-speed and the 11-speed derailleur so you can see what I'm talking about. So the part number for this bracket axle for my model derailleur, right, and the 11-speed, keep in mind, is Y3JN as in Nancy 98010. Okay, and that's the same in both of the exploded parts diagrams for the 11-speed and the 12-speed Di2 XT derailleur. For my subscribers out there, for anyone else who owns a bike with this derailleur, if you can find that part number in stock somewhere in the US, I'll be amazed and very happy. Please let me know in the comments and provide a link. I appreciate it. And thanks again to everyone for watching this rant video, and hopefully it interests you in some way, because if you do own this derailleur, it may affect you sometime in the near future and you need a solution, and I'll provide you with one. It turns out, if you search for the part number, another one that shows up is a bracket axle for an older 8050 XT Di2 derailleur. And sure, I get it. If you have money to burn, just order the part that Google presents to you. You might not do a lot of research and see if the part numbers match, etc. Each to their own. I get it. But I myself have to conserve my money, and I cannot afford to spend it that readily, right? I wear Harbor Freight gloves. I try and use the cheapest approach to biking so that I could save my money for replacement parts, repairs. I don't buy bike specific clothing, all the accessories and accoutrements that mountain bikers wear. I just can't afford it. I'm just an average rider, and I love biking. I gotta save my money for bills and food and all the other stuff. I already have nice bikes, and so I just need to be able to ride them, and whatever allows me to do that is what I will use for that. I'm resourceful that way. I encourage you to do the same, And if you have a product you like that is from a hardware store or something, feel free to put it in the comments. I'm totally interested to see, and I appreciate the comments. So when I searched for the correct part number for this bracket axle on Chrome, it immediately came up with a different bracket axle for the XT RD-M8050 Di2 derailleur. I did find this part anywhere from $60 to $45 on various sites. The one I found and waited for a week and a half because that's all I could find that would ship in a fairly quick time frame. The part number is Y5Z, N as in Nancy, 98010.
This bracket axle connects to the UDH like so. This protrusion, right, on the UDH is for the B-limit screw on most other derailleurs. The orientation of these tabs are very important. So this little tab right here, it connects with this tab on the UDH, keeping this link from rotating further. Your B-limit screw on the XT derailleur interfaces with this tab on this bracket axle. I just want to warn everyone who owns this XT Di2 derailleur, this and the older model, right, that uses this silly bracket axle. This thing is like a proprietary freaking derailleur hanger. And the whole point of the UDH was to get rid of the need for proprietary derailleur hangers. It's complete bullshit that Shimano engineered their XT Di2 derailleurs around this little extra link, or this bracket axle that they have. It's just complete bullshit. And it's pretty soft metal, apparently. I put some blue Loctite on the threads just a little bit, so I was waiting for that to dry. All right. Here's a shot of it on the derailleur. That's what it looks like. This unit also comes with a bolt. This little bolt goes through right here. So it inserts there and connects this axle bracket to the derailleur. It'd be great if this derailleur just connected straight to the UDH instead of through this bracket axle. So annoying. Anyway, let's put this on. And again, this is a brand new UDH. And there you go. The way this derailleur kind of just dangles like this, I mean, I was really fortunate that this part of the derailleur that the axle bracket connects to did not bend or get damaged, because then I would have to buy a whole new derailleur. And these are expensive. They're almost $400, just the derailleur alone. I tend to tighten my derailleurs to 12 Newton meters. And then I'm also going to tighten this bracket axle to 10 Newton meters. There we go. So that should be solid. I almost forgot to show you the packaging for the bracket axle. Here it is. Go ahead and take a screenshot.
Now, I do not understand why Shimano has to freaking make different part numbers for the same fucking part that fits in both their M8050 derailleur and also their M8150 derailleur. I don't know why they have to make different part numbers, but it's fucking annoying. You know, this part's expensive like any freaking proprietary derailleur hanger. We're talking, what, 50, 60 bucks to source it? Just one replacement? This is now a part I have to carry on me in my bike bag when I bike. The UDH is pretty damn rock solid. It's a hefty hanger and it's pretty well made. It's pretty tough and durable. I don't know if the derailleur hanger got bent in this accident that bent the bracket axle. Of course I replaced that hanger. They're only 10 bucks. I threw it in the recycling because I have to assume it might have gotten bent, right? Even just a little, which could throw off shifting. But again, it's much stronger than this stupid bracket axle, which is a fucking proprietary derailleur hanger. Let me calm down. The UDH is much stronger than the Shimano bracket axle that connects the derailleur to the hanger. Someone, please explain the logic. Also, this part cannot be sourced anywhere in the US. No one has it. Worldwide, Jensen, random places, like no one has the part number that I needed. Y3JN as in Nancy 98010. No one has that in the US. If you can find it, please put the link in the comments and I will definitely walk in shame. But I looked so hard. I mean, I really did a comprehensive search. I could not find that part number anywhere in the US. How the fuck is Shimano speccing this fucking proprietary derailleur hanger on an expensive ass XT electronic derailleur, and they are not stocking it in any stores or obviously manufacturing this fucking shit. Anyway, that aside, I found a place called Tree Fort Bikes. The part that I was talking about for the M8050 older XT Di2 derailleur, Y5ZN as in Nancy 98010, okay? I found that at Tree Fort Bikes. I'll put the link in the description for the part on their website, and they're only charging $29.99 right now. Remember, I told you earlier in the video, the key is in the little tabs on the back of this bracket axle, how they interface with the hanger. I went ahead and purchased one bracket axle. I didn't have a picture of the rear, but it was a Hail Mary. I checked the Shimano code number for this part, and I cross-referenced that with the parts, the exploded parts diagrams I have that are linked in the video description, and I made a calculated risk, and I just purchased it for 30 bucks. It took about a week and a half for it to show up. They did not ship out immediately like Jensen. It took a little while for it to get here via just standard US post. I finally received this in the mail, looked at the two side by side, and they're exactly the same. They're exactly the same part. Every detail about it is exactly the same. Why is Shimano speccing a different part number for the same fucking part? Which is a proprietary fucking derailleur hanger, by the way. That's the way we need to think about this as Decoy owners with this model derailleur, or anyone else out there who actually has this model derailleur on a bike. It's just such an obvious cash grab by Shimano. I don't get it. It's like they're fuck you to SRAM. Like, okay, SRAM, you got the fucking UDH, and so we're gonna fuck all of our like customers. We're gonna make the derailleur compatible with UDH, but we're gonna have this extra little fucking derailleur hanger thrown in that they have to source because this shit will get bent. I'm telling you, like, all I did was come off a jump. I didn't even get any air. I got like, what, a foot or two of air? And I fucking landed it crazy in the side of the bushes, and a stick just came up. And that was all it took. I could have been 20 miles from fucking civilization, out in bear country, with a heavy ass fucking 50-pound e-bike, and this fucking part got bent. It could have broken or snapped on me too. Well, what a fucking nightmare scenario. You know, let's say hypothetically you have a UDH in your bike bag, right? That you bring with you on rides. And you have this derailleur or the older XT Di2 version that carries this specific axle bracket as well. It doesn't matter if you fuck up your UDH or whatever, like this is still going to fucking make your bike not work if it gets messed up. You probably get why I'm upset. I just cannot believe that Shimano is doing this, making this little stupid part and designing derailleurs around this little proprietary hanger. This interface between the UDH, which can be sourced anywhere, and they're pretty nice derailleurs. I mean, they have nice products. Shimano has good things, but I just don't understand how they could just, it's just so cruel that they would engineer something like this and make it so that you could not easily source it. They create this part, but they make it so difficult to source. Hey folks, it is Saturday, December 20th. At around 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it is a different day than when I was previously filming my rant video. I realized while editing the rant video that I never included a farewell outro for you guys. I just wanted to let you know that the little bracket axle that I'm ranting about in the video, that is not the only problem with Shimano that has occurred recently to me. It's a bit concerning. I mean, I've been a fan of Shimano in the past. I've always loved it. I thought it was really precise and well made. I don't know if the quality has been decreasing or not. I just don't ride enough Shimano to say. But ever since I got this Decoy, obviously I've been living with Shimano. So this bracket axle was not the only thing that failed that day. The stick or branch that came up and bent the bracket axle actually also bent my chain. As I was going uphill, the chain snapped off. I had an extra quick link, a Shimano 12 12-speed quick link in my bike bag, just an old one that I had taken off of a chain before I recycled it. And for some reason, when I put it on the chain was all bound up and the quick link was super tight. And I do not understand it, how these things are manufactured. It just seems a little odd. And I don't know if I'm getting factory seconds from eBay. I guess that might be possible. Maybe these eBay sellers get factory seconds in bulk or something and then offload them for a cheaper price. Now, a lot of the listings say new and they don't say like new. What's worse is that after installing my rear derailleur, as you just saw in the video, I went to go put on a brand new 12-speed Decoy XT chain, the M8150 chain. A couple interesting things happened. The quick link did not function correctly and I could not snap it into place. And I tried so many times. Just looking at it, the manufacturing looked a little off to me. I have extra backup XT chains, so I opened a new XT chain and I took out the quick link from that and I put it on the new chain on the Decoy and it snapped right into place, like no problem at all. So I don't know what's happening with Shimano. Again, it seems like their manufacturing process might be a little flawed now, or they're pumping out cheaper products, or maybe I'm just buying factory second stuff from eBay and I just don't know that I am. That could be possible. I had to go to Amazon and the quick links there were like $16 for 2 quick links. They come in a pair of 2. And then I went on eBay and I found them for like $8 for a pair. And so I purchased 2 pairs, getting 4 quick links. If you don't need to return something, I would totally buy it from eBay. But if you suspect at all you might return something, then obviously Amazon has the easiest returns policy. Everyone knows that. I only use eBay if I'm buying smaller things that are less crucial and I know I'm not gonna need to return them, such as like extra XT chains or the quick links, for example. The other strange thing that happened, and it was Shimano related, one of my subscribers and someone I also follow on Strava was really nice and gave me a brand new 12-speed SLX cassette. Now the SLX cassette is supposed to work with the XT derailleur and the chain, etc. As far as I know, it's compatible. But for some reason on this brand new SLX cassette, the 12th gear, the smallest cog on the cassette, the brand new chain is skipping on the 12th gear. And I never ride in the 12th gear. I mean, maybe if I'm going fast downhill and I want to get extra speed, I might shift up to the 12th gear. Other than that, I'm mainly riding gear 8 through 1 on the e-bike normally. That was really interesting to me. The chain is brand new. The cassette is virtually new. I haven't put many miles on it at all. For example, sometimes I put a new chain on the Capra Eagle X01 cassette that I have on there. Initially, the chain might slip a little in the lower gears that I tend to use for climbing until the chain wears in. But that's under very specific conditions, right? I'm swapping out an old chain with a new one, but the cassette is still sort of used. But this cassette is like nearly brand new, and the chain is brand new. I did make adjustments on the derailleur to the high limit adjustment screw. I did make some adjustments to the B limit screw to improve the overall shifting up and down the cassette. So it's very strange that the chain is only skipping in the 12th gear on this cassette. Either something is wrong with the chain or this SLX 12-speed cassette. That seems suspect. So I have Shimano XT chains where the quick link is not snapping into place. You know, maybe it's off by like the smallest amount, like the pin that they put in the quick link, maybe that's slightly off. Maybe one side of the quick link is sort of bent out or something and you can't press it together again. I can't say, I don't know. All I know is that I took another quick link out of a new chain and it snapped right into place, no problems. So there are manufacturing inconsistencies that I personally am experiencing on some Shimano products that I own. If you have Shimano products and you've noticed this too, please put in the comments what you've experienced. I'm really interested to know. If you buy a bike with a proprietary derailleur hanger, you must buy backups or else you're gonna get caught out. Something's gonna happen to that derailleur hanger and then your bike's gonna be out of commission. I can't complain. Again, I'm blessed with multiple really good bikes, and I'm very lucky, and I don't take that for granted. I'm very thankful for that. And the reason I was so upset, again, is because I just wasn't aware of this dimension of the issue, that it is a proprietary hanger, and if it gets bent, like it happened to me, it literally put my bike out of commission. Now, luckily, I was at Joaquin Miller, where I can walk back to the car if I need to. Because of my lack of knowledge about this bracket axle and the various product codes and the inability to source it in the US, at least for the code for the bracket axle for my specific 12-speed XT derailleur, that is, and the fact that I had to learn by making a $30 risky purchase that both the old bracket axle for the old derailleur is the same as the new bracket axle for the new derailleur, and I just don't have money to be throwing at problems like that. It's about safety. If I had been in some remote location and this broke on me, there would have been no way for me to fix it on trail, and that's a very scary proposition, to be so remote and far away from a trailhead in the backcountry potentially and have this happen and not be able to get myself and my bike to civilization again to make my way home. It's a safety issue, and it's kind of scary to think about, and there's no warning. I knew I didn't like the bracket axle instinctually when I put together the Decoy. Just to have this happen, now I know why I don't like that bracket axle, because it is a proprietary hanger. You cannot just replace that bracket axle with any other bracket axle, and to not be able to source something that is so critical to get your bike working again is pretty intense to me. And now I have 2 extras on the way. I'm going to keep one in my bike bag, one in my bike kit as backups. That way, if I am out there in the middle of nowhere, I have an extra SRAM UDH on me too. At a certain point, it's like frustrating because I need to have all these different backup parts in my bike bag. I'm an authentic person. I'm a real person. I do get upset when I feel taken advantage of, and this bracket axle, I guess, it makes me feel like I've been taken advantage of a little, because the UDH solved the issue of proprietary derailleur hangers, and it's just super frustrating that I have a derailleur now on the Decoy that now I know has a proprietary hanger of some kind that literally, if that gets bent, it's going to mess up the derailleur, the shifting. I might seem a little extreme, like I might be overreacting a little, like yelling, cursing about Shimano, but I have no affiliation to any of these brands at all. I don't owe them anything. And so I can speak freely. I can speak my mind about, what I feel about these parts and these manufacturers and my experience owning their stuff. I can just speak freely about it and share it with you. I think that's a privilege. So hopefully you guys respect that. Hopefully the video did interest you. Bottom line, I hope this video is helpful to you to provide you with a way to get backup bracket axles for yourself if you are running this XT 12-speed derailleur. Again, that's the RD-M8150 derailleur, and the 11 and 12 speed fit the same bracket axle, and the RD-M8050 bracket axle is exactly the same as well. It just seems like such a shell game to me. On the street, when those guys are scamming you out of your money and they're doing the shell, moving the marble inside the shell, it's like a shell game. Like, why do they have a different part number for the exact same part? It is so silly to me. That just complicates things needlessly for the home mechanic, for the consumer. Thank you so much for watching, putting up with my rant. Really appreciate it. If this is the first time you've seen my channel, this video is pretty raw. Again, I just made it to speak my mind for a little while. I understand if it's not your cup of tea too, and you just like the riding videos, don't worry, there's gonna be plenty of those. I got a lot of content. Also, good news, I did get the media mod for the GoPro 13 Black. I do have a lavalier mic that I can utilize with the media mod. So that's on the way, and I purchased the ultra wide lens mod for the GoPro 13 Black. When you attach the lens to the GoPro 13, it's automatically recognized and you get a 177-degree field of view. So I am going to be able to increase the view and get more of kind of like the 360 feeling, although not so distorted. So I'm looking forward to playing around with that lens and hopefully improving the video quality for you guys. I got a good deal on the GoPro site. I also subscribe to the cloud management service for video content. I do upload to the GoPro cloud and then download when I need to, and it just helps me manage space a lot more. And it's $50 a year. You get a deal for the first year of like $25, but there's another perk. You get 15% off all of the GoPro accessories. That often puts the price below Amazon prices. I'm not so sure about eBay. The reason I could afford the medium mod and the ultra wide lens mod is that I got an additional 15% off, so I got a total of 30% off on each, and it was a pretty substantial savings. It was a pretty good deal, and so I pulled the trigger on those two items just to improve the content creation for the ShredQuest channel. Thank you for watching the vid and smashing the like button. Thanks for subscribing if you do like the channel content, and thanks for leaving me a comment. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you out on the trail very soon in a much better mood, I promise. Peace out.